Hello, everyone. I'm excited to welcome you to our course in Leadership for Student Learning. I'm Carrie Booher, and I love teaching at the University of West Georgia. I've served 30 years really proudly in K 12 schools here in the state of Georgia, and I've worked in large and in small school districts. And I completed my career recently as a superintendent. I retired in 2025. I've served as a school counselor, an assistant principal, a director of student academic support and advisement, a principal, an assistant superintendent, an associate superintendent, as well as a superintendent. And I've had lots of great educational experiences. I earned a Bachelor of Arts in Psychology from the University of Georgia. From Georgia State University, I earned a Master's of Education in School Counseling. And again, from the University of Georgia, a Doctorate of Educational Leadership. Let's talk a little bit about the requirements for the course. You will, of course, need reliable access to the internet. You're going to need a computer with sound and a camera. It's going to be really helpful to you if you take time to check CourseDen daily for announcements and feedback. And actually, best practice is probably for you to do that twice a day. Please stay in regular communication with me. Make sure that you're checking for those announcements as well as for emails and letting me know if you have questions or issues or any concerns. I love interacting with my students and look forward to connecting with you frequently throughout the course. Please make sure that you double space all of your written work and use APA 7th edition formatting in all of your graduate level courses. Using that double space option with your written work allows me space to provide annotations right within your work, and I love getting to do that. You will often see that I will use three exclamation points in the margins, and that means that I am applauding your brilliant thought from the other side of the internet. Let's talk about a little bit of course information. We're going to be talking about a focus on a framework of effective practices that all work together to really drive significant impacts on student achievement. And that focus is going to be on collective efficacy, not just how we can individually get better, but how we as schools and school systems can improve learning for all of our students. We know that there are challenges when it comes to the variability of student outcomes. And we found ways, and great research supports all of these ideas, to really be able to reduce the variability in how our students are performing and learning. And we will look throughout the course into the research on high reliability schools that use a guaranteed and viable curriculum. Those schools use systems of formative assessment. They have intervention options as well as acceleration options for their students. They also effectively utilize the science of reading, and we'll go deeply into that topic. We'll spend lots of time talking about high quality instruction and what that looks like and how to make it more consistent and pervasive across your schools and district. And then we'll be talking about effective leadership strategies. 100% of our courses will be online and available through the CourseDen website. It's an asynchronous format so that you have the flexibility to do the work and participate in the assignments and do the readings and the videos around your busy schedule. There won't be any required live sessions unless one is needed for some sort of clarification or if we have an opportunity to hear from an important live speaker. So please know if you would like to schedule a meeting with me where we can get online and be able to communicate, I am always happy to do that. And I have a very flexible schedule so that I can meet your needs. Announcements are going to be critical to your success, so please make sure that you read all of the announcements carefully. And if you have questions after reading them, that you let me know. Among the first few announcements, you're going to find links to future assignment information so that you'll be able to go ahead and get started on some of them. You're going to do your work through content modules, and there are 5 modules in this particular course. There's going to be content that's required for each week. There will be a conditional release format, which means you need to complete the work from the prior module in order to be able to access future module work. You'll be completing a key assessment in this course, and we suggest that you start working on it on day 1. It will be completed through the use of a required PowerPoint template, which is really going to help you to set up a very professional design for this project. Please make sure that you pay close attention to the speaker notes within that PowerPoint template. There are lots of great examples and clarifying information that's available in the speaker notes. Sometimes, if you use a MacBook or an iPad, you're not able to see those speaker notes. So please make sure that you're using a tool that will allow you to be able to see them because they will help you to be successful. We suggest that you work on the key assessment while you're working on each module. All of the work that you're required to do are really tightly aligned to the key assessment. So think of the key assessment as a culmination of all of the learning activities that we'll do throughout the semester. Let's talk a little more about your assignments and your quizzes. This information is available to you in Module 0 so that you can have it as an easy reference. You'll see that clinical assignments are referred to in several of the modules. The first of those clinical assignments is a focus on learning chart as well as teacher surveys. The second is in Module 2, and that's a clinical assignment which really focuses on intervention. This will require you to interview your principal. In Module 4, we're going to participate in a simulation activity that our students have indicated is a really powerful activity for them. It's a great opportunity to network with other people in the course and get some great feedback. You'll also have a clinical assignment required in Module 4 that focuses on high quality teaching and learning, and that will require some leader surveys. And then you'll have the key assessment that I mentioned, and that will be the culmination of all of the work that you've done throughout the course. So 3 of those assignments, our clinical assignments, are going to require you to gather information from your colleagues. 5 teachers will be needed to complete the clinical assignment in Module 1. Your principal will be required as an interview in Module 2. If there happen to be several of you that work in the same school, you can certainly coordinate and interview the principal together. Module 4 will ask you to interview district administrators or other leaders. There are going to be surveys that need to be submitted with the assignment to which they're tied. So you'll find the surveys for each of these clinical assignments in the content section of the courses. And these site-based assignments are part of the required clinical hours for our Tier 1 program. While they're a lot of work and they require you to plan ahead to set up opportunities to work with your peers, you'll find that the activities are very beneficial. They're beneficial for you in increasing your learning and in the application of what we're talking about throughout the course, but they will also help the staff members who participate with you in the process. But you might want to plan ahead for a treat to thank your friends who will need to help you out with the course. So, this clinical work, these assignments, they're critical learning components of a Tier 1 EDLE program. Clinical practice allows students to explore and to reflect on the content, professional and pedagogical knowledge and skills, and to really be able to gauge your impact on student learning. Clinical practice assignments give you the opportunity to apply the theoretical concepts that are learned in a course. And you can apply these in the school and your district setting. And these arose really in part based on the changes with the Georgia Professional Standards Commission when they went to a 2-tier leadership pathway. And there are required performance-based activities within any tier 1 or tier 2 leadership program that's approved by the Georgia Professional Standards Commission. And the great news about that is you'll find that these clinical practice assignments tie really tightly to the work that you're doing in your schools, and you'll find them to be very practical and helpful in improving student learning. Important things to note. All of your assignments are due by 11:59 p.m. on Sundays unless otherwise stated, and I want to go ahead and call attention to the fact that the key assessment is actually due on a Monday because it's at the end of the course. Again, I urge you to start working on the key assessment on day 1. It is a big assignment because you're having to pull all of the pieces together from your other work throughout the course. The graded work folders will close at the due date and at the time that is indicated in each of the assignments. And so, if you need additional opportunities to be able to complete your work, please stay in communication with me. Please know that I understand how challenging the work is out in our K 12 schools, and that I know that on top of working full time, many of you also have families that you're taking care of. So, if you'll stay in communication with me, it really helps me to be better able to help you to be successful. Know that your writing must reflect graduate level work. And I ask that you double space all of those assignments, again, because I like to provide annotations for you right there in the work. You will not be required to double space things in the clinical assignment charts and then also in the speaker notes and the key assessment. Remember that we require that you use APA 7th edition formatting in all of your graduate level work, and please use a Times New Roman font size of 12. Please use proofreading. You can use editing software before submitting your work, and there's actually one that's available in Microsoft. Please make sure that you're proofreading your work and make sure that you're taking time and planning ahead so that you're able to turn in thoughtful and complete work. Remember our expectations for professional conduct. It's essential that you read the course syllabus. There's lots of information that's available there. Make sure that you complete all of the readings and watch all of the videos. They will help you to be successful. We don't require fluff or irrelevant readings or videos. We make sure that they really are essential. Complete and submit all of your assignments on time unless we've communicated and made another arrangement. And then also, please make sure that you ask questions. I love communicating with people in schools, and I am happy to answer any question that you might have. It's really important to me that you have the opportunity to be extremely successful, and that's difficult to do if you have a question and you don't ask. So, just to wrap up, please know that I understand that graduate courses are intense, but again, I'm here to help. But I can't help if I don't know that you're struggling. So please make sure that you're communicating with me. I do prefer that you communicate with me through my email address instead of through the CourseDen tool. The CourseDen tool makes it difficult for me to be able to reply efficiently to your emails. So please just communicate with me at cbooher@westgeorgia.edu at that email address, and you'll find that available for you throughout the course. Remember that the quality of this experience really depends on you, on your mindset, and also on the actions that you take. Please remember that communication is essential, and I look forward to working with each of you this semester.